Hey everybody, my name is Paul Esden Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25. Make sure you pound the like button, also hit subscribe down below. And when you're down there, there's an article talking about what could be a very rare QB for QB trade. And we threw it up on social media yesterday, so let's dive right in. And I'm going to throw it up here on the screen. Here's the trade. The San Francisco 49ers trade Trey Lance, the Jets trade Zach Wilson, and they swap. The real basic, simplistic approach is both quarterbacks have disappointed in their first 2 years in the NFL for different reasons. We'll get into that here on the show. But now they can both get a fresh start in a brand new place. Who says no? Apparently, a lot of fans said no. It has over 63,000 impressions right now, and comments for yay, nay, all over the place were happening on this. So I want to dive into a bit more detail, some more context of really kind of diving into this potential trade. So let's get into some of the particulars. So, okay, both quarterbacks are 2 years in, respectively, to their careers. Okay. And also, actually, before I get to that, I just want to say that this didn't just come out of the woodwork. Obviously, NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport shared on Wednesday the 49ers have had trade conversations with other teams regarding Lance's availability. And he said that the rest of the NFL can read the room. Quote, "It is very clear that Brock Purdy is expected to be the 49ers starting quarterback of the future. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of basically every 49ers executive and coach who has spoken," end quote. So again, so Trey Lance potentially being traded, that started bubbling up. So all of a sudden it just kind of hit me. So Trey Lance is 22 years of age. He will turn 23 before the start of the 2023 season. In his 2 years in the league, he's only started 4 contests. That's because first off, he rode the pine and the bench his entire first year. Also had a few injuries as well, but mostly it's because he rode the bench. Then last year, he suffered a season-ending ankle injury that required surgery to repair 2 different injuries in his right ankle. When he was on the field, it just wasn't spectacular. 54.9% of his passes, a 5 touchdown to 3 interception ratio. He threw 235 yards rushing on the ground as well. Meh. I mean, meh. It's not great. Not great at all. Now, on the other side of the coin, Zach Wilson, a little bit older. He's 23, will be 24 before the start of the 2023 season. He started a lot more games. He has 22 games. Trey Lance is 4. But obviously, Zach Wilson has not been good in those extra games that he has started over him. He's completed 55% of his passes, slightly better, thrown for 4,000 yards, 15 touchdown to 18 interception ratio. Wilson's also rushed for 287 yards on the ground with 6 total touchdowns when you combine rushing and receiving. So here's really what we boil this down to. Trey Lance hasn't been able to stay on the field. Zach Wilson has been on the field a lot more, but it just hasn't been great. So again, for multiple different reasons, these guys have not worked out in their current location. So why not switch them? Why not just swap them? Trey Lance's contract is a little less. It's a 4-year, $34 million contract. There's also the 5th-year option on both players. That'll be decided next offseason in 2024. Zach Wilson, 4 years, $35 million in terms of his contract. But here's also the interesting connective tissue here, which breathes a little bit of life into this. The San Francisco 49ers reportedly, and also we have some links down below, were all in on Zach Wilson in the pre-draft process. Now, they couldn't get up to 2 because the Jets weren't willing to trade or they didn't get the offer they were looking for. So 49ers straight up to 3 and quote-unquote settled for Trey Lance. But they wanted Zach Wilson, according to multiple reports, and like I said, we have those links in there as part of the pre-draft process. So they wanted Zach Wilson before. Okay, let's go to Zach Wilson. Okay, Zach Wilson, Robert Saleh is the head coach, a 49ers head coach. The 49ers and Jets have a great relationship, obviously, because of that connective tissue. So there is a lot of trade fodder to be had here. Now, people can say, well, Zach Wilson sucked. Well, okay, but I'm sure the 49ers, like a lot of teams in NFL history, said, yeah, well, insert player sucked because he was on the Jets. So anyone can convince themselves that we love this player pre-draft and we could bring him in here and we could fix all the problems that he had in New York and vice versa. On the 49ers side of coming to the Jets can say, well, Trey Lance, if he stays healthy, he could be dynamic potentially. So both sides are taking risk here. I don't know really, honestly, how I feel about it. I just kind of floated it out there as a straight up swap. Your problem for our problem. Maybe that creates a solution. I don't know. So I've heard all over. This is when you know the trade offer is perfect. I've had Jet fans say, it's great. I've had 49ers fans say it sucks. You have to give us like Zach Wilson and future assets. Then I've had other people say, it's the worst trade that I've ever seen. Other people say it's an ideal trade. When you get every different opinion, that means the trade is perfect. It is exactly what it needs to be. But to be honest, I don't know what the value is for a Trey Lance who's started 4 games in 2 years. What does that mean? Zach Wilson, sure, he's not looked great, but Trey Lance has been able to stay on the field. Your best ability is availability, and he hasn't been available, plain straight up. So to me, I think each of them have their own issues, but maybe a swap could solve everybody's problems or none of them. I mean, sometimes bust is a bust for whatever reason it happens to be. But if the 49ers are committed to Brock Purdy anyway, where the hell is Trey Lance going? And the only snag, and I will admit this, and I admitted this at the end of the article as well, Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers have a relationship. Zach Wilson has idolized Aaron Rodgers. They chat, they text, they call. They've spoken since all this craziness with the Jets-Packers trade stuff. And there's a good relationship there. And Zach Wilson's all on board with being the backup at this current stage and moment in time. I don't know the relationship between Trey Lance and Aaron Rodgers. We haven't heard of it. Like, does it exist? Maybe. I don't know. So Zach Wilson seems to be cool being the backup and learning from Aaron Rodgers. Would Lance be? I don't know. That could put a whole monkey wrench in this whole thing that we're not currently aware of, but it's something that's kind of interesting. I don't know. What say you guys? Switch the number 2 overall pick for the number 3 overall pick from the 2021 class. Are you for it? You against it? Let us know. Feel free to also check out the article down below. Some cool, interesting bits and nuggets of information that could kind of paint the whole picture together. I don't know. I threw it out there. Yeah, I'm sure I'm not the first person to ever throw it out there. It's not, it's not like this crazy wild trade idea, but let me know what you guys think and kind of throw it down in the comment section down below. Again, like the video, hit subscribe, and we'll see you later right here on the Boy Green YouTube channel, baby.